Hello, friends. Today I will share my solution to the meeting room 2. And I have tried to solve this problem many times, so I want to share my solution with you. Okay, given an array of meeting time intervals consisting of start and end times, find the minimum number of conference rooms required. Let's see the example. First, the start time is 0, end time is 30. And because we haven't added any room, so at this time we need one room. And we see the second meeting, the start time is 5 and the end time is 10. And as we can see, the start time is smaller than the previous meeting, which the end time is 30, so we need another room. And we see the third meeting, the start time is 15, and is less than the previous meeting, which end time is 10. So we can use that room. We do not need another room. So in total, we need 2 rooms. So as we can see, first we should sort these intervals by their start time. In this case, we can schedule the meetings. But how do we check if we can reuse previous rooms? Let's just compare the current interval start time with the earliest end meetings and end time. In this case, a priority queue can be used, which is the minimum heap. So, because we solve these intervals at first, the time capacity will at least be n log n, and then we use a priority queue, and which each add and remove will use log k. K is the size of the priority queue, and pick the minimum use constant time. So in total, the time capacity will be n log n. And what's the space capacity? Space capacity will be will be on, because we will space capacity will be OK, which k is the size of the priority queue. And at last, we just return the heap size, which is minimum number of conference rooms are required. So let's code. But at first, we should do some edge cases check. If intervals are none or intervals length equal to 0, we just return 0 because we have no meeting to do. Then we sort this array intervals, and as I0, 0, I1 will lead to I0 start minus I1 start. So now these intervals are sorted, and now we need a priority queue, which we just need to save the integer, which is the end time of the meeting, which is the minimum heap, and the new priority queue. And okay, let's do the iteration for interval I in the given intervals. In which case should we in each case should we reuse a room that will be the heap size larger than 0, and the heap.pick is less or equal than the current interval start time. In this case, we do not need to allocate another heap. So we pour this end time, and we should update the newer end time, which is I.end time. So finally, we just return the heap.size. So let's see an example. The first interval is 0, 30, and now the heap size equal to 0. So we just offer the end time, which is 30, into the heap. Now heap size is 1. Then we see the second 5, 10. The heap size is larger than 1, but the heap peak, which is 30, is larger than the 5. So we do heap offer the 10 into this heap, and then the size is 2. The last interval, which is 15 and 20, heap size is larger than 0, and the heap peak, which is 10, is smaller than the 15. So we pour the earliest end time and offer our new end time. And yeah, I think that would be right. Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching.